aside in the interest of establishing a religious celebration, let's say. It has met controversy. It has been targeted for a day of giving people miserable time right on their New Year day, giving them a lesson. There are a lot of that, but we're not going to get into those. What we're going to talk about is the fact that still exists. It's a beautiful celebration. Its roots are in, as I said, in the faith. People ask, is this a religious ceremony? No, it's a secular festivity celebrated by Persians before there was any Islam or Christianity. And if there was any faith and religion in it, it came from Ahura Mazda, Zoroastrian faith that had a simple belief: do right, speak right, think right, or good deeds, good words, good thoughts. And those are the basis of the whole celebration that I will cover in a little bit more. For right now, because we are a little bit behind the schedule, I'd like to introduce to you one of the dances that comes from one region of Iran that has been there, Loris. This is an ethno-linguistic group of people, community of people in Iran. The best way we can describe them is they are ethno-linguistic subculture. And they do their own dance. In each part of Iran, there are different dances. And loris are authentic, and the music that these girls and boys from World Dance Class that Miss Ann Wilcox teaches have practiced only a couple of times with help from me and a CD. And the musicians are authentic Iranian musicians in Iran with ancient instruments. The lyrics are about the rain, the most precious thing for a spring. If you come from agricultural background, for 3,000 years you just love rain. So they have done a great practice, and they themselves are, some of them, they're all internationals of course, but they come from interesting places. Zarijan, do we have their names on the program, or are we going to?
I don't have them on the program.
Okay, let me introduce the names. Okay. Okay. We have Calvin Aduli, Tuwalda Beiro. Would you tell us where you're from? Kevin.
Ghana, West Africa.
Yeah, Ghana. Did he ever think he will be dancing Lori here? Tiwaldo.
I'm from Nigeria.
Nigeria. Sophia. Taganda.
I
Oh,
am
yeah.
from Tanzania.
Tanzania. Jaspreet.
I'm from India.
Omo. He has a longer name, but she has a longer name. She says, call me Omo.
Hi, I'm South African.
Sean Mulligan.
First generation Irish American.
Okay. Can we play the ballroom for them? Please clap. Okay, now isn't that beautiful? It warms my heart when international students get into these things so well. And thank you again. Thank you, Anne. And please, girls, go to the other room and pick some cookies for yourselves and sit down and you can enjoy the rest. But I know I was told to do it early because they have another class to go to. Okay, now, the next thing is we were going to continue on our talk about what is Nowruz. You learned a little bit about it. How is it celebrated? I want to jump to who is celebrating it and how is it celebrated. I told you the number is about 300 people across the world. 300 million, about over 100 million of them are, of course, in Iran, because Iran used to be an important chunk, the center of that Persian Empire. But at the time of Darius and Cyrus, as I said, the whole empire stretched literally from the Mediterranean Sea, the west, all the way to the borders of China. So if you have the map of the world, you see the top of the map was all Empire of Persia. Among the countries over there are countries that are now part of Central Asia. We call them Central Asian countries. For a long time, some of these were under Soviet Union. And in Soviet Union, when they were treated as almost states and territories under the rule of Soviet Union, they were not allowed to have Persian New Year celebrated publicly. It wasn't the official public holiday of Russia. So they were discouraged, but as families still, Kazakhs would get together and have their kind of celebration with all those symbols that you would see in the case with variations. Everybody, whether they were from Kazakhstan or Turkmenistan or Iran or Tajikistan, they would make on the 19th of March start growing those sprouts. Sprouts would actually start growing them about a week before Nowruz. And that is a tradition that comes from way back. With your own hands, you put these grains in dishes, wash them all day. It teaches you patience and cleanliness until the water runs really clean. Then they sprout, then become green. And you say your prayers with them because these are symbolic of good agriculture and good omen for a good, lush year. And then what they would do, once they were germs, they are now wheat germs would produce, in all of these countries, they start breaking the wheat germs, the roots, the actual grains that are soaked in them, and make a very old dish that is 3,000 years old called samanu. In Iran, they call it samanu, which is cooked germ wheat. And when you cook and cook and cook the germ wheat, it becomes sweeter than sugar. So it makes this pasty type thing. And it has so many meanings in the culture. It's good for you. It's the healthiest food to have in the first day of Nowruz. It takes so much patience to cook it. So there are traditions built around just making samanu. It brings the community together. In Tajikistan, they use in the streets these bathtub-sized pots that I don't know how they get them there. And they put fire under them. And women and men and children get around it and take turns steering with heavy, heavy shovel-like stirrers. They stir it, they sing songs and play tambourines and sing about New Year, sing about blessing of God, about agriculture, about good nature, until it's cooked after 12 hours. Then they share it with the neighborhood, bowls forever, bowls of samanu. And in Tajikistan, it has a different name. Some people in the whole region, samanu is the same as samanak, sumalak, sumalak, all of these names. refer to that same dish that comes from wheat. Wheat was everything for a prosperous agricultural empire. So that is what we have there. Then, of course, the other items that Zarijun has put together in that display case that have just as deep meaning as salmon. Now, how is it celebrated? About a week before Nowruz, people start out with preparing for the event, just like you would do for any event, parallel event like Christmas, let's say. They start shopping, stocking up grocery items or hospitality, baking cookies, making food, preparing their hafsin. But here are the values. I actually like to hold the values for a second and give you a glimpse of Hoji, that Persepolis we are talking about. So you can see that even in 300 years BC, when Cyrus had that hall of hospitality I talked about, people were, delegations of different parts of the country were bringing natural things like crocus or ram or wheat to the king. And we play the Persepolis.
Representatives of the various satrapies or governorships
See?
which Darius had established in the empire. They brought different gifts, lapis lazuli, bowls, and ewers. They brought their animals. They brought all sorts of things, from the Ionian Greeks to the Egyptians, the Babylonians, the Indians.
Here, an African representative carries an elephant tusk while leading an okapi. Exotic presents from the farthest regions of the empire. Fortunately, a number of objects that are quite similar to those depicted in Persepolis' reliefs have been found in various countries, which were once part of the Persian Empire. For example, the representatives of Bactria present highly valued bowls, perhaps made of gold. This 20-centimeter wide gold bowl, now at the Iran National Museum, is similar to those illustrated at Persepolis. It is engraved at the rim.
Okay, this is to itself about 2 hours of Persepolis there. But, by the way, these guys you saw carved on those walls of the Persepolis, you know what? Your university has a very expensive piece of that wall. One of the best Nowruzes I ever was engaged in was done at Memorial Art Gallery, because one day I went there and I saw a fragment of a Persian guy from 300 years BC looking at me and says,